Has Prince Harry just had the most significant week of his royal life since stepping back in 2020? According to multiple reports this week, King Charles held a private meeting with his son at Highgrove.
Prince William reportedly refused to take part, and Meghan Markle was noticeably absent from one of Harry's most important public events.
Today we're going through everything that's being claimed, what it might mean, and where this story goes next.
Let's start with the reported meeting itself, because this is where things get genuinely interesting. For much of this week, senior royals carried on with their usual public duties. Prince William and Catherine were seen at Wimbledon, and there were engagements at London Zoo. Away from the cameras, though, attention was reportedly focused on Harry's efforts to reconnect with his father. Sources suggest Harry initially struggled to secure any time with the king at all, and for several days it looked as though no meeting would happen. According to reports, that changed later in the week. What's worth remembering throughout all of this is that nobody outside the family truly knows the full details of King Charles's health. That uncertainty is said to have played a role in his decision to eventually agree to see Harry.
There's also the wider context. Reports suggest Harry and Meghan have faced a difficult run recently, from setbacks with their business ventures to an unfavorable outcome in a recent legal case.
Against that backdrop, sources close to the family claim Harry was determined to rebuild bridges with the king, even if reconciliation with Prince William remains, by most accounts, off the table for now. William is reported to have opposed any meeting and to have believed it was the wrong move. The meeting itself is said to have been arranged at short notice, at Highgrove in Gloucestershire, shortly after the Invictus Games events in Birmingham. According to the source behind these claims, Harry had hoped for one-to-one time with his father, without Queen Camilla present, something that reportedly hadn't happened at previous meetings. That's not how it played out. Queen Camilla is said to have remained close by throughout, with Charles never left alone with Harry at any point.
Meghan and the couple's children reportedly weren't part of the initial meeting either. Harry is said to have gone in first, with Meghan waiting outside before being invited in later with the children.
Strict privacy measures were reportedly put in place, including the surrender of phones and recording devices, with any official photographs said to remain the property of the Crown.
So where does that leave things? Do you think a private meeting like this is a genuine first step toward healing this family, or simply a pause before the next disagreement?
Reports suggest Harry now believes further contact is possible, including a potential visit to Balmoral later in the summer, and even speculation about a return to royal Christmas gatherings. None of that has been confirmed.
One practical question that remains unresolved is who covers Harry's substantial legal costs going forward, with most sources doubting the king will be the one to pay them.
Now, while that meeting was happening behind closed doors, a very different kind of pressure was building elsewhere, this time involving the British press. The same week, Harry was reportedly working to reconnect with his father. He was also attempting to launch the Invictus Games, and by most accounts, it didn't go entirely to plan. Rather than focusing on the games themselves, much of the media coverage centered on Harry, Meghan, and ongoing family speculation. Reports suggest organisers had hoped for a public message of support from King Charles, but none had materialised by the time coverage began. Compounding matters, Harry is said to have expected at least a partial win in his ongoing legal dispute with a major British newspaper. Instead, the outcome went against him, and a senior newspaper executive publicly defended the paper's position, framing it as a matter of press freedom. Harry reportedly responded by calling the result a whitewash, a comment that appears to have escalated tensions with parts of the British media. According to reports, palace advisors subsequently encouraged both King Charles and Prince William to review coverage of the dispute, reportedly to help them understand how the fallout could affect the monarchy more broadly. The royal family has traditionally relied on a workable relationship with the press, including periodic meetings between the monarch and newspaper editors. Sources suggest Harry's comments have made maintaining that relationship considerably harder going forward, with some suggesting it could bring greater scrutiny onto both the King and Prince William in the months ahead.
Do you think Harry's public comments were justified, given his history with parts of the British press, or do you think this was a moment where staying quiet might have served him better?
Finally, let's talk about Meghan and her reported absence from Invictus itself. It's worth remembering how visible Meghan has been at previous Invictus events, from leading a group of veterans at One Games to being formally introduced to the public at the 2017 event in Toronto. Reports at the time suggested Harry considered her involvement essential going forward. In more recent years, however, some coverage has suggested her appearances leaned more toward personal branding than supporting veterans directly. This time, according to sources, reconnecting with King Charles appears to have taken priority over Invictus publicity altogether. Reports suggest Meghan was quietly advised not to attend the Birmingham event. Security has been offered publicly as one explanation, though some sources question that reasoning, pointing out that comparable arrangements were already in place for Harry himself. Other reports suggest concerns about media attention shifting away from the veterans and onto Meghan were also a factor. For Harry, this event mattered. Reports describe him as needing Birmingham to be a clear success after a difficult stretch. And by most accounts, he worked hard to make that happen, even though celebrity turnout was reportedly more limited than organisers had hoped for. Was Meghan right to step back and let the event focus purely on Invictus and its veterans, or should she have been there regardless? So, taking all of this together, it's been a week that reportedly brought Harry closer to his father while pushing him further from his brother, deepened tension with parts of the British press, and saw Meghan choosing to stay out of the spotlight entirely. Whether any of this leads to lasting change within the family remains to be seen.
Do you think this is the beginning of genuine reconciliation for Harry and King Charles? Could Prince William eventually soften his position, or is that relationship beyond repair for now? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll keep bringing you the latest as this story develops.